A brand new season of Toronto Raptors basketball is about to begin, and finally the Raptors are heading into a season where they have a clearly defined and suitable backup point guard. But in this situation, the Raptors actually have 2 point guards vying for that role, so let's discuss who would you rather see play between Davion Mitchell and Jamal Shead. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Hour Production Network, where we give you additional Toronto Raptors content and videos just like this, ancillary to our main channel, Amateur Hour Sports, with over 17,000 subscribers. And if you're a basketball sicko like me, a topic like this about who should be the main backup point guard for the Raptors might interest you, and that battle is going on between Davion Mitchell and Jamal Shead. If you enjoy what I have to say in this video along the way, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more content just like this. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. So, Raptors for the last few seasons, as long as I can remember. No, in the last 2 seasons, at least. God, ever since Fred VanVleet starting and he was no longer the backup point guard, the Raptors have not had a backup point guard who's really suitable of NBA minutes. I mean, they experimented for years with Malachi Flynn. It didn't work in year 1. It didn't work in year 2. It didn't work in year 3. It didn't work in year 4. I don't know why they kept on trying it. Delano Banton had a bit of a purple patch where he was playing well for the Raptors, but ultimately, there hasn't been an NBA caliber backup point guard for the Raptors in a while. So, for the last few years, for me, it has been a priority to find one. And for the Raptors front office, it has not been a priority until this season. I don't know what, if I could call it luck. Like, I don't know what went into the Jalen McDaniels trade, how the Raptors pulled that off. Like, you know, I've talked about that Kings trade so much. So if you don't know, you should know. The Raptors traded Jalen McDaniels to the Sacramento Kings, who were just trying to offload salary with Sasha Vezenkov, Davion Mitchell, the 45th overall pick, and a Portland Trailblazers second-round pick for 2025, this upcoming draft. Essentially, they wanted to get off the Sasha Vezenkov contract, and the price they were willing to pay for that was to give away Mitchell and 2 picks. How it landed on us, the Raptors, getting McDaniels, I do not know. But point is, Vezenkov got bought out for nothing. Point of this is, Davion Mitchell arrived in that trade. So therefore, at least, again, I don't know what the priority was to get a backup point guard because, you know, who knows if the Kings don't approach us with this or if the Raptors don't sort this out. But they sorted out the backup point guard situation by bringing in Davion Mitchell from that trade. And the 45th overall pick, which was included in that trade, was used to draft Jamal Shead, another point guard. Jamal Shead probably would have gone earlier, except he was being offered 2-way contracts, non-guaranteed deals by a bunch of teams. He wanted a solidified NBA contract. The Raptors were willing to give him to that, so that's why he fell to around the 45th overall pick position. And he's been impressive in preseason. Davion Mitchell had one of his more impressive seasons in the NBA last year with the Sacramento Kings. It kind of felt like coming into preseason, that was Davion Mitchell's spot. But we knew after watching Summer League that Jamal Shead could have had something to say about it. And definitely that is the position that we are in at the moment. So let's discuss the candidacy for both players to take on this backup point guard role for the Raptors. Mayo quickly, obviously the solidified starting point guard. The backup to him, out the gate, it's going to be Davion Mitchell. I think it's completely fair to say that based on his track record in the NBA, having played 3 seasons already. The Raptors did not extend him this heading into this season. He's going to be an RFA at the end of the season, which makes sense. You got to see what he's prepared to offer on the court before you really go into that. But big thing from last season for Davion Mitchell was he upgraded his three-point percentage from low 30s to 36%. Very respectable there. I know it's only 2.2 attempts per game. His role has diminished on a season-to-season basis for the Kings as they've improved, and he hasn't really kicked on. But, you know, solid in his role there with 36% shooting from 3, 45% from the field. If we can scale those up, like at the same sort of efficiency, I'd be pretty happy for the Raptors. But 5.3 points per game isn't a ton. We can look at his per 36 to try and give us, you know, better determination of his ability. You know, 12.4 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. That's going to have to get better. Darko Rajakovic has said in an interview that Davion Mitchell is going to be taking on a huge load to run the second unit. So there's going to be minutes there. We know the defense is very good. That's why he got drafted. He got drafted off of Baylor's national championship season where he was a fantastic defender. His nickname is Off Night, which is still to this day one of the coolest nicknames in all sports. Off Night, because when he's guarding you, you have an off night. Amazing. 5.3 points per game's got to be better. I'll take 45% from the field for an undersized guard. I'll take 36% from the field for a backup point guard every day of the week. But we need more production out of him. And I would say that's also where I landed when it came to preseason. This is Mitchell, right? This is Shead. Okay, well, for preseason, only averaged 3.8 points per game in 24 minutes. He's not getting the big role that he got previously with the Kings after his lottery pick. He was drafted 9th overall with the Kings. Hasn't really played up to that level, but the playmaking was there at least. 5.6 assists per game for the Raptors in preseason. I like his defense. I like his playmaking. I like how he plays, within the confines, if you will, of the team. But we need additional production out of Mitchell offensively. 5 points per game in 24 minutes won't cut it. Won't cut it at all. That's got to be at least 8. You got to be putting pressure in some capacity. But the worry for me is, the 3-pointers, will that stay around, 35 plus, or will it drop back down to the first and second season? We shall see. What I did notice from preseason, though, offensively, other than the shooting, he cannot put pressure on the rim. Bit disappointing, but just wasn't part of his game at all. That's where we go now to Jamal Shead, and we want to have some discussions over his candidacy to take this spot. So as I said, Mitchell's got 3 years of NBA experience. Darko's already talked about his role. But Jamal Shead could come knocking on the door for that spot. In preseason, in 15 minutes, he averaged 8 points per game. Not efficient at all. 40% from the field or under that. 15% from 3. Whereas Mitchell was shooting 33% from the field, 25% from 3. Neither of them really battling out for this spot. Too hard in that department. But, wow, Jamal Shead's energy is really, really good to have out there. You really notice him at all times. And his defense, it's the real deal. Defensively, he hounds you. He is a hustler. What I need to see differently, I can't have this. He played 15 minutes per game. He took 2.6 threes a game. Against preseason, you want to try things. I can't have that. If he's wide open, in rhythm, kick out, catch and shoot, okay. Fine, shoot it. But runners, no. Off the dribble, no. Catch and shoot only. My question for Shead, we know he's NBA caliber defensively, is how he's going to bend the defense, how he's going to put pressure on the defense. How is he going to make the opposition defense care about him? How he's been doing that a bit in preseason, not super efficiently. He isn't getting to the rim poorly. He's showing a willingness to do that, and I think without some of the jumpers he's taking, that field goal percentage looks a bit better. Eliminate the mid-range game completely. I don't want to ever see Jamal Shead shooting mid-range. There's a lot of guys I'd say that about. There's how many guys are allowed to shoot in mid-range on the Raptors? Probably 5, and even then, some of them not much. So I don't want to see mid-range jumpers. Get to the rim, look for some higher percentage looks, catch and shoot threes, sure, but be the distributor. I think Shead has played well enough for this Raptors team based on, the current depth situation as well to get himself in rotation out the gate. Mitchell's the backup, but I don't think Jamal Shead can be completely eliminated from getting minutes because I think he was impressive in preseason. And honestly, not a lot of guys clamoring to get some role right now. RJ Barrett's out, Jacoby Walter's out, Bruce Brown is out. There's minutes there potentially for Jamal Shead. What is going to happen to make this work with Jamal Shead in rotation? Because it's tough. Mitchell's undersized. Quickly's not super tall. Jamal Shead's undersized. It's going to be tough to get two of those guys on the floor at the same time. But I liked what I saw from the experiments with Mitchell at the 1 and Quickly at the 2 in some lineups. And I think that has a possibility to work with Quickly at the 2 and Jamal Shead at the 1. Part of the issue, another piece, is that like you cannot really play Shead and Mitchell together. You're just sacrificing way too much offense there. So basically, both are good defenders. Davion Mitchell's the better playmaker. I honestly might have to concede that Jamal Shead's the better defender. Not saying Mitchell isn't good, but playmaking, Mitchell's better. Defensively, it's pretty close. I might give the nod to Shead. Offensively, it's what's going to separate one from the other. If one of them starts to really have an effect on the game offensively, whether it's knocking down a decent percentage of threes, whether it is bending the defense on the inside, getting to the rim well, that's their spot. So it'll be an interesting battle to unfold. Ultimately, I think Davion Mitchell's experience will prevail, but Jamal Shead definitely one to watch out for this season when he does get his minutes here and there. So let me know in the comments down below who you think should be the backup point guard to start the season. Who do you think will be the backup point guard at the end of the season? I will not rule out that being Jamal Shead, honestly. But that's all for me for today. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this channel for more. Check out some other channels as well. This is my main channel, Amateur Sports, over 17,000 subs. This is the best stream clips and highlights from the streams that go live on this channel over here. Here's another video that you may enjoy. That'll do it for today. Let's go Raptors, guys. I'll see you again next time.